So hopefully you filled out the form on our website. It asks you lots of questions. That all gets recorded and we look at it here in our offices. And perhaps you've called up too and had a conversation. Well, if that's the case, you probably would have spoken to Darren. So here in this office is where a lot of the legal work is done. Telephone calls come through to various people in the office, but usually you would have spoken to Darren at some point. He coordinates most of the operations here and your questions are answered. Surveyor is booked. That all happens here. So the next stage will be when a surveyor is booked to call at your property. So you'll know about this in advance. Now at this point, you should have had all of your questions answered about the scheme. Perhaps you've even attended one of the village meetings which we set up. So when a surveyor comes, there shouldn't be too much need for any other questions. Obviously, you're going to want to be talking to the surveyor about where the tank is going to go on your property. That's an important thing to discuss. He might ask some questions you think are a little bit strange about how many properties that you have that are connected to your tank. Well, I'm sure you only have one, but the surveyor will need to make sure about that. Whether you have a well or a borehole on the property. The entire survey is almost all outside on your property. However, the surveyor will need to go in to take a picture of your consumer unit. Now that's where your electric cable comes into the property and all of your little fuses are. Just one small picture, that's all. Other than that, as we said, the survey will be outside. So once your survey has taken place, we then take you to the next stage, which is an engineering survey. So that's done here on our premises. And you won't know anything about that process, but you will get a phone call from us shortly afterwards. So as long as everything checks out from our point of view, we're ready to proceed with your free installation. So what happens then is you sign a contract with us, which takes you to stage 3, which really is what we call the legal stage. So we have to establish in law for the next 90 years that your tank is going to be in place and doing what it's supposed to do. And that is removing nutrients from your property which are harmful to our environment. So the next stage is to come to our premises to sign all of the documentation. Follow me. So you'll step into this room. If there's a queue, you may have to take a seat. But what we do is we offer you a coffee. So if you're a coffee lover, then we have a menu and you can choose the coffee of your desire. Personally, I loved a flat white. So I'm going to make myself a flat white if you don't mind. So once you have your coffee, it's time to go into the meeting room to sign the documentation. Follow me. Take a seat. You've got as long as you need to go through the contract, which I'm sure you've already read once, twice, 3 times over already. You can ask the questions, and then when you're happy, you can sign on the dotted line. Now, once that's done, obviously everything is binding, and we will then put your job, your free sewage treatment plant, into production. So the next step is what we call production planning, and that happens in this office here. So once a job goes live, there's an awful lot of organisation to do. So we've got to do simple things like book building control. We have to book concrete for each and every job. There's always excess soil, about 15 to 20 tonnes for each tank. So we have to have a lorry at the right time in the right place to pick up that. We have to make sure our diggers and all of our plant are in the right place at the right time. So that all happens in this office here. So the next stage is getting all of the materials together, and that happens in our yard. Let's step through the door. So this is where all the physical preparation starts. As you can see, we have a factory area. All of our tanks are built here on the premises. So we have the tanks stored in different sizes. They come flat packed from Germany. We build them here on the floor. And if you follow me, you can see the various components. So here we have the housing for the control unit. So ground level is roughly here. So that's the bit that you'll see standing up somewhere out of the way in the corner of your garden. The framework here you see around me is where we push the tank up, so safely we can get into the workings right from the very top. This is where all of the individual components are held for the tank. So simple things like hose joiners to rubber seals for the pipe that goes inside both ends of the tank, caps. Everything you see here goes inside the tank. These are the air supply hoses, all stacked up. Each one of these is ready to go into a specific tank. So this is all of our area here for the tank preparation, which will end up potentially in your garden. So our crews come in at various times of the week to reload before they go to the next job. And that happens here. 3 loading bays, a van parks in a specific bay, his materials are already sorted for him, he loads the van and then leaves the production area. So this is where we store all of our pipework and all the connections for it. So we carry a large stock, it's constantly replenished, but as you can see, each van can easily come in, park very quickly and put on a specific number of pipes for each job. Fittings, inspection chambers, everything is here in one simple place so that it's quickly available, and also we're not going to run out of materials. Every job is different and sometimes we need perhaps another manhole. Well, no problem, because we carry it in stock here. We don't need to go to a builder's merchant, we have everything in-house on the premises. Just occasionally we might hit a water main. Well, no problem to us, because we carry every conceivable spare water main repair fitting on the shelf, ready to go. Our company invests a lot of money in specialised machinery. Now this, for instance, is a specialist machine. It carries all of our materials in and out of site on difficult jobs. So we have a 4-in-1 bucket, which is capable of grabbing material. We have forks for it as well, so we can lift pallets in and out of the garden. And it has special tyres which put very low impact on your lawn. So although we do make some mess, we keep that mess to a minimum, and we're constantly investing in new machines which are designed to make as little imprint as possible on your lawn. So this is one of our service vans. His job is to constantly monitor each and every plant that goes in. So we put telemetry on all of our plants, which means that there's a little SIM card or a satellite device which gives details of your tank back here to this office 24/7. So if anything goes wrong with that plant, then we're on hand to make sure that it gets sorted out immediately, usually before you know anything about any issues at all. So the next stage is installing the plants on your property. So we get loaded up, each gang will take the tank that he needs, the materials and the machinery that he needs, that will get brought to your property. We then start work. It doesn't take long, usually around about 3 days to do the entire job. Now you might be thinking, how do I go to the toilet or have a shower for that time period? Well, you know what? It's quite simple. All we ask you to do is just to reduce your usage of water for around about 24 hours actually, not the whole 3 days. So you can still use the toilet, have a shower, but we ask that you reduce that. So perhaps don't have a bath or use the washing machine or the dishwasher just for a 24-hour period. And when the lads arrive, they will start to dig holes. But we've been doing this for a long time. We put mats down in places where we will do the most damage. As we said, the process doesn't take long, and just within a few days we will tidy your garden and leave it as best we can. Now we don't re-landscape. What we do is we save your topsoil and we put that back over the affected areas and we rake it over. If the weather's good, then the job is really good. If the weather's wet and horrible, like it is today, for instance, then it will be a little bit more muddy than usual. However, we can't do everything to save your garden. We just do our best. So then before you know it, we've left you in peace. But what happens next? Well, in the first year, we will attend the site to check on the tank around about 4 times. Now, hopefully in the second year, we won't need to come at all until the 2nd anniversary, which is when you pay for the first service. So that at the moment is around about £150. So we will keep an eye on your tank for you. That's really important. That tank must work. Now, to help ensure that, we have a telemetry system built into the plant. Now that runs off a little SIM card, just like you have in your mobile phone. So 24/7 we are monitoring your tank to make sure that everything is okay. Now if something is wrong, then your own sewage treatment plant will send us a text message and tell us that there's something wrong, and we will be calling you and arranging to come to site to have a look at the problem and fix it as soon as possible. So, are you decided? Are you undecided? Are you going to go for the free sewage treatment plant or not? Well, the choice is entirely yours. But let's just summarise the benefits of going for this free sewage treatment plant upgrade scheme. You don't have to pay for anything. Your property has to be compliant with the government's general binding rules. Is your property compliant? Well, you're usually not going to know until you come to sell your house. And when you do, you will potentially have to have a survey done which will tell you whether or not it is compliant. Now, if it's non-compliant, you're going to have to pay for a new sewage treatment plant. The cost of that can be in the region of £15,000 to have that work done. And you're going to need to do it to enable you to sell your house. So the benefit to you is take your free plants. It helps to clean up our environment. It helps for other houses to be built for your children, your nephews, your nieces, your grandchildren, your friends and family to be able to purchase a new house. So that's good. It helps our environment. And also, it helps your property to be compliant with the law. So again, we call that a win-win-win situation. But it's your choice. But we do look forward to seeing you soon.